Hi guys! Have you ever thought about taking some time for yourself, but you felt a little guilty about it? That's the topic of today's episode. I'm Jen Sabotin of Fuel Your Transformation. This is part of my Jumpstart Your Journey, Getting Over the Overwhelm series. So I wanted to kind of take you through a story that happened the other day. I was talking with a friend of mine at work, and she has a couple of kids, 2 kids under the age of 5, and she was a little bit concerned because she wants to start a workout program, but she was concerned about taking some time to do that after work before she goes to pick up the kids from the sitter's house. And we were talking about it and brainstorming some options of how she could do that. And I said to her, you can't pour from an empty cup. Now, think about that. Here's what I mean by that. She looked at me for a minute and she said, you're really right. When we talk as moms about taking time for ourselves, sometimes people look at that and think that that's going to be selfish. And really, what I need for you to understand is that it's not selfish for you to take a little bit of time for you to rejuvenate. It's actually the exact opposite, because you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're empty, you don't have much to give. It doesn't matter that you're with your family or with your kids if you're stressed out, if you're overwhelmed. So here was the thought. I said to her, what if you had it scheduled in a few times a week and made an arrangement with the sitter? Your kids are taken care of, they're safe, everyone knows what's going to happen, and you get that time. How are you going to feel? And so we talked about the benefits of that. They've shown in studies that people who take some time for themselves actually are less stressed, more clear-headed, able to make some decisions a little bit better because they're not so stressed out or aggravated. Those same people are a little bit more relaxed, of course, because they've taken that time, and then they're actually better when they're spending time with their family. They're more patient, they're more focused, they're more involved with that time that they're actually spending. So if you're thinking of taking some time for yourself, which I highly recommend, here are a few tips. And this is really important. You need to decide these things. This taking time isn't just sort of haphazard and catch as catch can. This needs to be things that you decide. So number 1 is that you need to decide that you're not going to feel guilty. No one's being left in a predicament where they're unsafe. No one's being neglected. You're not neglecting your family or your work or anything like that. You're just taking some time for yourself. So number 1 is decide that there's not going to be any guilt. Number 2 is that you need to be the one to decide how you're going to spend that time. If you say that you're going to take time off each week and then someone else is planning how you're spending that time, that's not your time. So if you decide that your time is going to be reading a book, great. If it's going to be working on fitness, fine. If you want to take a dance class, if you want to go to the spa, we can't all afford to go to the spa, every single day. I guess if you can, go for it. That'd be nice. But you figure out how you're going to spend that time. So number 1, no guilt. Number 2, you decide how you're spending the time. The next thing is you need to be able to say no when other people are asking you to do things. When you're good at taking on those responsibilities that other people ask you, it takes it off of their plate. And the more you take on, the more they're going to give you because you keep taking it. It's okay to occasionally say no. Don't overload yourself like that. Then you're juggling too many responsibilities and you get frazzled, and sometimes you drop a few of the balls there because it's too hard to keep them all up in the air. So when people are asking you to take on a responsibility, to help them out, to do, a favor, it's okay to sometimes say no. Thank them for thinking of you. That acknowledges that they took time and thought of you, but then politely say no. The next thing is you need to schedule that time, the time that you're taking for yourself. Again, I mentioned earlier that it shouldn't be catch as catch can. It should be scheduled in, like actually put it on your calendar. Whether it's you're going to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to 4, or you're going to take a bubble bath and read a book with candles and a glass of wine from, Friday night from 8 to 9, or whatever it is, whatever floats your boat and refills you, however you decide you're spending that time, put it on the calendar. It's like an appointment. You wouldn't cancel appointments with other people. Don't cancel that appointment with yourself. And then the last thing is avoid the dreaded perfection. If you happen to miss a day, if you happen to, not spend the time the way that you had planned or need to cancel it, don't freak out and throw the whole thing in the trash. If you mess up, if you have something happen, it's okay. It's about progress. And what I mean by this is, if you decide that you're going to be taking 4 days a week to do whatever it is the thing that's going to fill you up, and you only get 3 times this week, that's not a failure. So it's not about perfection, it's about progress. The goal certainly would be for you to take about 15 or 20 minutes a day. If you can do that every day, that's great. If it happens 3 times a week, that's probably better than you're doing now. All right, so I want you to keep these tips in mind. Think about how you can do something each day to refill your own spirit so that you're better for the people around you and in your life. Take care, guys. Those are my tips for today. I'm Jen Sabot, and thanks for watching.